question about that. Then quickly, let me look at the adjectives very briefly, adverbs, and then conclude. You can see the minimalism here. Attributive. Attributive, an example of an attributive, it's an adjective that precedes what it's modifying. For example, look at this and mark it. A bad mistake. A bad is attributive. Isn't that? Predicative from the traditional predicate. It is like saying Kenya is walk. W-O-K-E. Isn't that? Walk comes after Kenya. Isn't it? And what is walk? It is Kenya. But it's coming after the no. But that's what we refer to as attributive. And now, the only question I have, how many of us conform to the order of adjectives, the prescribed order of adjectives? Because adjectives can occur in a series. A harsh, black, whatever man, isn't that? Which one comes first? The traditional prescription that we should have quality, opinion, size, age, shape, color, origin, material, and purpose, following that order, has been discarded, and if you have to use it, you have to go back to the traditional grammar. This one is no longer in operation. Then another thing which I would like to talk about, adjectives. This is where a lot of polemics comes in. How? Instead of, for example, saying, listen to these two sentences. These are the issues that are fundamental to the quail farmers in the country. And then this one, these are the fundamental issues to the quail farmers in the country, isn't that? We tend to go for the subordination, the subordinate clauses, which also act as adjectives, but they are lengthier. Isn't that? So it is if I want to conclude at this stage without going to the adverbs, I'll say that the lengthy references are preferred almost universally by all members. Let me finish with the adverbs. The adverbs, like their cousins adjectives, are simply modifiers. We categorize them in many ways. Adverbs of time and all that, and you have seen I've avoided the classroom work. I'm interested in what we refer to as the intensifiers. An intensifier is an adjective that intensifies. Look at that, tautology. Now let me give an example. Thank you. No, this one. Thank you very much. That is the traditional one we know. But the one we use is thank you so much. Thank you so much. And that one, even when we go to the native speakers, it has gained currency and therefore it is now acceptable. Then let's look at the other intensifier. Kenya's debt is so big. Doesn't matter. But traditionally we are supposed to use it in this manner. Kenya's debt is so big that the country struggles or is struggling to service it. Isn't that? What has happened? It has been truncated, and therefore the complement has been eliminated. So always there requires a complement in traditional grammar. And therefore these days we leave it pass. I would like to say this, that I would like to conclude by saying that this is just a gist of the practice of the Hansard, the actual ground zero practice. You can see that if I were to go to the prepositions, that is a gray area. very confusing. Then we go to the phrasal verbs. Look at, for example, the way we have brought class into death. An ordinary man, you die, you pass away. If you are a certain class, you pass on, among other things. You can be buried or buried, you can be interred, among that. Therefore, what I want to say is, let me read this verbatim. The interplay between traditional perspective and communicative, pragmatic approach to language use is conspicuous to grammarians. No, I'm not saying Hansard officers. Now Hansard officers and then come in thereafter. The play can be attributed to background, and I'll explain that. Now, Hansard. What is Hansard? A formal legal governance document has to constantly adjust to the informality of speech, new grammatical constructions, novel usage of words, and balance the fluid reality with its essence. It's a verbatim, and I've also referred, it is a legal document. So as much as informality is creeping in, we have to constantly assess to what extent can we restrict, to what extent can we go back to the traditional way of expressions. On that note, I hope I've jogged your minds a little bit. And I request that let me acknowledge the Hansard Association of Kenya for this conference and this approach they have taken. I've alluded to a sequel to this paper where I'll deal with the pronouns, the prepositions, the interjections. Thank you so much.
Asante sana mwalimu. A round of applause to mwalimu. One of the few teachers who practice the art of Hansard production. Another round of applause. Thank you very much. Actually, now you see, I was saying today we are now into the rubrics of actually what we are doing here. Whether it is sign language, whether it is Kiswahili, whether we get into English, we are now into the deep mechanics of it. And then one of the things I've picked from that presentation, and I know we will have an opportunity in the afternoon to have a plenary, is one of the tricky areas which eludes almost, please remember the word almost all Kenyans, is the subjunctive mood. And this is something that is, it is a site where Hansard officers operate in every day. Whenever you do statements, whenever you are doing reports, the subjunctive mood is always misused. So someone says the committee recommends that the ministry investigates. And we have been told the subjunctive mood is a wish. So the committee recommends that the ministry investigate. He does not take a what? What the professor will say? A tense. Right? He will not take a tense. So the subjunctive mood is a very troublesome mood in the country. Almost every Kenyan forgot about it. So I hope we'll have better conversations in the afternoon. So at this juncture, we are tempted to continue, except we are also reminded that they might pull back our lunch. Can we do 2 more presentations?
Yes.
What is the mood of the house? All sovereign power belongs to the people shall, or the people may. So may the people may. So I think it is only fair that we take a break. It is only fair we take a break. We have 3 more presentations on language use. which we'll take in the first 30 minutes in the afternoon. Then we'll go into papers on technology and accessibility of the Hansard. Please let's take a break of 1 hour and be back here at 2:30. Kindly let's keep time so that